So now one of my co-organisers, Susan's just going to do a talk as well, and then we will have Anne Darcy after that, okay?
So, hello, thank you everyone for joining us today. It is just, I can't even express how wholesome it is to have such a beautiful bunch of people, lovely, colourful colours all around, smiles, making the effort to support us and come out today. It really is, it's magical stuff, I think, well, I can only speak of my own experience, but maybe you can resonate with me that when you were diagnosed, obviously the first thing isn't exactly, oh, I'm delighted, this is great, yeah, I can master this, no problem, and all this, that attitude, right? And thinking of going into a room of people living with the same condition as yourself, it can be very, very daunting. I know personally, I'm 20 years diagnosed this year. I was diagnosed at 14, and it took me 10 years, maybe 12, to go into my first space of other people living with multiple sclerosis. So I just commend you all, because it can be really nerve-wracking, and, will I know people, will they know, and all these thoughts. So thank you all for coming out today. Really appreciate it. When I was preparing for this talk, I was saying, geez, a 20-year experience, colourful experience, where do I begin? And Anne Darcy, where's Anne? Hello, Anne. Anne Darcy, naturopath, who will be speaking after me, she simply asked me a question as we sat down to the beautiful salad. She said, what piece of information can you impress upon the people before you, that they can take away, and hopefully that helps them on their journey, if you want to call it, or if that's cringe for some, that's okay too. So I thought, wow, what's my USP, my unique selling point? And I suppose I'll just give a brief history, because I am aware, Gillian, that I'm only allowed 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm a talker, so buckle in. No, but back to my journey. Let's give a brief synopsis. We can be up here and I can be here and say, yes, I was 14 when I was diagnosed. I was doing my junior cert. It was a very daunting experience. How stressful. What will I get in my grades, etc. Big sportswoman, fantastic. Next thing I noticed, I was seeing 2 balls when I was golfing and playing basketball. I was going for the wrong ball, etc. It was double vision. I think a lot of you would have optic neuritis here. You know what I mean. Great crack. But I still have that to this day when I look to the left, which is fine. But then with that diagnosis, the stories began to form. So no longer was I bubbly, fun-loving, happy-go-lucky, competitive Susan. I'm that girl who was diagnosed with MS in Tralee, and the butcher knew straight away, thanks Dad, and that knocked on to, receiving the beautiful gifts of the rosary beads and the everything, and lovely intentions. But what did that register to me? That registered a new identity of MS, seeing MS first. No longer were you met with Susan, it was, how are you? Do we all get it? How are you doing? Tilt of the head. So that formed within me a story of lack and limitation. I didn't see a vision for my future. The vision I saw for my future, it wasn't bright, let's just say. It was lack, limitation. I wasn't worthy. I was unlovable. Would I ever find a husband? Would I ever have children? Would I ever be able to have a career? Would I move out of home? Would I be with my parents? Love ye. But would I be with my parents for the rest of my life? Would I always have to, anywhere I go, be assisted? Would I lead an independent life? And those fears of what's going to happen. And that anxiety that took over for too many years of my life, to the point, like I said, it's, even though I'm only 34, a lot of you would look up, what does she know about life, etc. I honestly feel about 90 sometimes. But the journey that it brought me, I couldn't walk into town without someone being there. I couldn't go to the bathroom without my mother or father helping me there. Helena's gone home, I think. I met her at 16 because I was in pediatrics, and my goodness, she's not here, is she? Is it being recorded? I was going into this room with the lady with the black frame glasses, and I worked myself up for weeks over it. That fear, that anxiety, right? Susan, I thought this was a wellness event. Where's the spin-off here? When is it going to turn into a happy story? What can I impress upon you? I guess I changed the narrative in my head. And it took years, and it took levels of understanding. But I stand here today as someone who couldn't go to the bathroom unassisted, go into town unassisted, couldn't stand in an open space like this without something besides scaling onto furniture, to finding exercise, to then choosing to become a personal trainer and seeing how much I absolutely love being strong. Weightlifting, if I'm to impress anything on anyone, weightlifting. Get that strong body, right? If you fall, you can get yourself back up. Seamus looking at me now. So I worked with MS Ireland for a while doing exercise. Then I found mindset. Had fabulous medication, it worked really well. Thankfully, learned how to walk again, became the personal trainer. And then I went to a mindset seminar, similar to Jerry standing up here at the top of the room. And all it took was one idea. I accepted a thought that I was much more than the label that was given to me at 14, than the eyes that were staring at me all those years, that I walk with my foot drop and my foot turned in, that worry, fear and doubt that casted every day of my life, even though we're all good at putting the mask on, right? Let's put the mask on. The smile. We all have it. You show up, oh, she's fine, she's grand, she's full of chat. No one saw the beneath the scenes, behind the scenes. And I guess I went to that seminar, and that person who gave that seminar, literally, I borrowed his belief in me that I am worth more than just to submit myself to this label. So what did I do with that? I learned about the mind. The speakers today, they have spoken about the mind from the get-go. The mind-body connection. Your mind can literally not tell the difference between what is real and what is imaginary. So if I'm to offer you a token to go away with, reflect. How do you speak to yourself all day long? What stories do you tell yourself about you, your potential, and your life? There was no way that I would be up at the top of this room today if I continued telling myself that you're not worthy of doing that, you're a joke, people laugh at you, no one takes you seriously. People just feel sorry for you. They're allowing you this opportunity because they pity you. Okay, you're going to be in this scenario for the rest of your life. You're not really going to amount to anything. Or do I wake up and say, Jesus, today's a great day, isn't it? It's a fantastic day out there. God, the sun is shining. Do I want to be listening to the news talking about the latest government thing? Absolutely not. And that's where the piece of the personal responsibility. What do you consume each day? And really reflect on this, even write that down. Like, what information am I consuming each day? Because you are simply the sum effort of your thoughts. If you spend all day with this lack of worth. Oh, I can't walk today. Oh, I feel so tired. Oh, I have a headache. Oh, I have my eyes. Oh, it's easy for them. Oh, like it was cold there earlier and I literally was dragging my leg and we had to turn off the aircon. You know, and things like, if we focus on that, it's like Tony Robbins. Does anyone know Tony Robbins here? Yeah. It's like where focus goes, energy flows. So what are you consuming? What are you focusing on? And if it's not empowering you, then change it. Change it. Because as Jerry spoke about Viktor Frankl, you know, in the concentration camp, like it's the ability to choose one's own way. Like the attitude of gratitude, and it's so overused. If you're not expressing, you're suppressing. So if you're having a worry, if you're having a fear, if you're doubting your potential, if you're lost and you don't know what your identity is, and you're playing that music all day long, guess what? What are you going to amount to? Not much. Not much. You're not going to wake up with a smile. It's just not going to happen. But you have the personal responsibility and choice in every moment to decide, how do I want to feel today? What do I want to do today? How do I want to think? They're questions that I ask myself. A vibrancy audit. I'm now a self-development coach. I work with people all over the world. It's fantastic. I create my own reality. It was just a thought in that seminar that I wanted to work online and speak about the mind and work with people all over the world. And like at times I'm not a 9-to-5 gal. Like I'm not. Like I just don't. Just not for me. And that's okay. And I chose to map out the life that I wanted and then be bold enough to go after it and have faith that you're here on purpose with a purpose. I know it's a bit preachy for some, but just take it on trust. We're not here by accident. We weren't given a diagnosis of MS just by chance. It's what you can do with that. And choosing each day to set a standard for yourself, create the environment. How do I want to live today? How do I want to experience life? And then, you know, finding the support, people will always come into your life at the right moment. You know, when you put out an intention of how you want to live your life, how you want to feel, everything else just falls into place. I'm kind of guided to my cousin. She's the master manifester. You know, she just has faith. It's all going to work out. What you put out is what you receive. So again, what content are you consuming each day? What material? Are you listening to the news 4 times a day? Are you scrolling on the internet all day, every day? Are you nagging? Are you gossiping? Who are you to gossip about someone else? And who are you to talk ill of yourself? There's a thing called your self-image. It's your concept of self. It's what you believe is true for you and your life. And that's exactly what happened to me. I went through a self-image shift. I'm no longer that girl. My sister, even at the beach yesterday, said, "Oh, remember that time, Susan?" I literally can't remember it because I choose not to. And it's not that I'm in denial. I just choose more of myself. And I say this to impress upon you, not to impress you. Just really hone into your day. When you wake up, what's your attitude like? If you get bad news, if something happens every day in everyone's life. You can't control half of it, but you can, like they said, you can control your response. And if it's not, you know, if you're not feeling good, then take it upon yourself to change it. I have a list I do with clients. It's called the vibrancy audit. So I make a list, and you can write this down if you want, vibrancy audit. So I make a list of what drains me, what people, places, music even. And then on the other side, have a list of, well, actually what kicks me up a gear, what creates this, you know, higher vibrancy within, what makes me feel good. Call Me Al comes to mind. If anyone knows the song, feel free to sing. But, you know, put on a good music, put on a good podcast, go dance, move, exercise. You know, surround yourself with good people. And if you don't have, you know, that supportive circle, then go hire someone. Honestly, the amount of coaches that I hire, because it's just not available where I am, and that's okay. And it's like, surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people who think high of themselves and high of their potential in life. And just because you have a label doesn't mean that you are that label. You are so much more. And like Jerry said, look in the mirror every morning. I love you. Give yourself a hug. When I did exercise class, who's here from my exercise classes? There you go. What did we do at the end? There you go. Put one hand here, and then we used to hug ourselves. Sure, they were mortified, but sure, it's fine. And it's okay to be uncomfortable. You know, if you want change, it's going to be uncomfortable. And that's okay. And it feels cringe, that's fine. And you know what? More people look at me now, and more people have discussions about me now. Not because of my walking, not because of MS. Oh, Jesus, there she is again, the positive one, you know. And that's fine, I can take that. That's grand all day long. But look, the last thought now, I'll wrap it up, Julian, sorry. My last thought is surround yourself with good people, make good choices for you, and remember, you are loved, you are worth love, and you are worthy regardless of whatever the hell anyone else says. It's your truth that matters. Okay, talk nice to yourself, be kind, give yourself grace. And that's me. Bye.